your cancer treatment could seriously weaken your bones. Osteopenia, osteoporosis, not good. Look, cancer survivor, you have gone through so much. Surgery, radiation, chemo, anti-hormonal therapy, and now weak bones? The good news is that you absolutely can do something about it. In this video, I'm showing you 4 natural strategies to strengthen your bones. Now, before I get into these strategies, I have something I have to tell you. As a cancer survivor, you already know a lot about cancer and cancer treatment. You're committed to your health. I know that because you're watching this video right now. But what you may not know is that you're also at an increased risk of osteoporosis. Okay, so you've likely already heard that alcohol increases your risk of cancer, but it also increases your risk of osteoporosis. Now, research is clear that alcohol does increase your risk of osteoporosis, but the amount of alcohol that is safe or that increases your risk, well, that is less clear. We don't know the exact number of alcoholic drinks that are safe to consume in terms of your osteoporosis risk. But several guidelines clearly state and agree that increased alcohol increases your risk of osteoporosis. Alcohol consumption is also associated with poorer nutrition and increased risk of falls. Both of these put you at a higher risk of osteoporosis and a higher risk for fractures. Now, the Mayo Clinic specifically states that having more than 1 drink per day for women and more than 2 drinks per day for men increases the risk of osteoporosis. Now, if this sounds like more alcohol than you regularly consume, that's great. Now, it's important to remember that alcohol increases the risk of several health conditions, including osteoporosis, cancer, and cancer recurrence. As a general rule, the more you drink, the higher the risk. But there's really no safe amount of alcohol to drink. Now, if you can, quit drinking completely. That's best. But if you can't do that, then be sure to limit your alcohol consumption. Now let's move on to the 4 strategies that you can start implementing today to help strengthen your bones after cancer. Starting with number 1, targeted exercise. Using specific exercise has been proven to strengthen your bones. You need to start including more weight-bearing exercises. This could be something as simple as walking or skip rope or resistance training. Walking is a great weight-bearing exercise to start building into your routine. It helps to improve bone density, but it's also important to surprise your bones, to use different strategies. You can do this by changing the pace or quickly changing directions, or maybe even walking backwards. You might go on sidewalks or on gravel trails, or you might walk up a hill. Now, research has shown that when it comes to strength training or resistance training, it's important to lift enough weight to actually strengthen your bones. You need to lift enough weight to actually stimulate bone growth. Now, as a cancer survivor, this can be tough at first. During your treatment, you probably lost a lot of lean muscle mass. You weren't able to exercise because of surgery restrictions. Plus, you probably felt terrible. So after cancer, it's no surprise that you're feeling weak. But that's okay, because you can start light and work your way up to higher weights. Now, exercise is a powerful tool when it comes to cancer recovery. Not only does it improve your bone health and reduce your risk of osteoporosis, but it also lowers your risk of cancer or cancer recurrence by up to 59%. This is why exercise becomes so important for you as a cancer survivor, not only in terms of your bone health, but in terms of your overall cancer survival. Okay, but that brings me to number 2, vitamin D. Vitamin D is the most common supplement that I recommend to women in the Cancer Freedom Program. It's so important for bone health, especially if you've been put on hormone-suppressing drugs like anastrozole, letrozole, or exemestane. These drugs decrease your bone mineral density and can potentially cause osteopenia or osteoporosis. The first way to protect yourself from this is to make sure that you have adequate vitamin D levels. Vitamin D is also cancer preventing. Women with normal vitamin D levels have been shown to have a reduced risk of a breast cancer recurrence. It's important to keep your levels within a normal range. Now, it's quite straightforward to get your vitamin D levels tested. This is something that your family doc can order, and it can be a simple blood draw. If you're deficient in vitamin D, then this is something you're going to want to start supplementing right away. Now, the dose of your supplement will depend on your specific vitamin D levels, so you'll want to make sure you consult with your team right away. This could be anywhere between 1,000 international units or 10,000 international units per day. It really depends on your own unique level. In extreme cases, some individuals may even be prescribed injectable vitamin D. This is, of course, in extreme cases, but most cancer survivors are going to be okay with just supplementing by mouth. And vitamin D, it's a crucial vitamin, especially for those people who are living in more northern climates. The sun is, of course, a source of vitamin D, but this can sometimes be quite limited. And that's why we see that the majority of women are actually deficient in vitamin D. Now, your bone density loss is often accelerated because of the aggressive treatments that you've been through. Many cancer survivors can even have early onset osteoporosis. So when I encourage you to take vitamin D if your levels are low, I really mean it. The properties that it holds to ensuring your body is able to absorb calcium and strengthen your bones is really important. Now, other than supplements, there are food sources of vitamin D, things like oily fish. And smaller amounts of vitamin D can be found in dairy products or in the yolk of an egg. But the amount in these food products are very small. It would require you to eat so much of them to actually get noticeable effects. Now, this is why vitamin D supplement is so important. If you can't get it from your environment or from your food, then a supplement's the answer, but not before that. It's first more beneficial to get it from your food and your environment, and then supplement if you're still missing out. And having weak bones or osteoporosis, well, this really impacts your ability to have fun and participate in your life. And that's what you truly want to do after cancer, is live life. When we incorporate a diet that's nutritious and limits the side effects and improves health in the long run, well, that is what being a cancer thriver is all about. Now, our body naturally absorbs vitamin D from just standing outside in the sunshine without any sunscreen on. Just as little as 10 minutes, and you don't even have to have that much skin exposed. Just your face and your hands. And when you're a kid, your body does an exceptional job of taking the sun and converting it to vitamin D. But sadly, as we age, this changes. The older you get, the more difficult it is for our bodies to get vitamin D from the sun. We have a harder time converting that sunshine to vitamin D, and therefore supplementation becomes important. Okay, but on to number 3, and this is something that goes hand in hand with vitamin D. Calcium. Calcium is critical for bone health for cancer survivors, especially among those who are not getting enough from their diet. This is a huge issue because without adequate levels, your bone health is at serious risk. But do not just start blindly supplementing with calcium. Let me show you why. Many clinicians will say a one-size-fits-all blanket statement that every cancer survivor should take 1,200 milligrams of calcium every day. But this is wrong. There are negative effects from too much calcium. It can cause kidney stones, and more seriously, it could increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. You want to make sure you have adequate levels, but you also want to make sure you're at safe levels when you combine your supplements with the calcium you get from food. The most straightforward way to estimate your calcium is to use a calcium calculator. This will ask a series of questions about your diet to estimate approximately how much calcium you're getting every day. I'll include a link below to a calcium calculator so you can try it out. Now, once you've estimated your calcium from your nutrition, then you want to use a supplement to get to the target of 1,200 milligrams. Okay, but keep in mind that you do want to get the majority of your calcium from foods. Things like kale or milk or yogurt or tofu or almonds. Calcium from food is actually better absorbed than calcium from supplements. So if you're not eating at least 600 milligrams of calcium from your food, then you'll want to increase the amount of calcium you get from your food, plus use a supplement. But there's an important piece here that I don't want you to miss when picking a calcium supplement. There is both calcium carbonate and calcium citrate products. These are different salt forms of calcium, and what you pick does matter. Calcium carbonate is a more common option, and it does require stomach acid to be broken down. You may want to take these products with a meal or after a meal because after eating, your stomach will produce more stomach acid and will more easily break down this product. But if you're on medication for acid reflux or heartburn, well, then you're actually on a medication that's actively suppressing your stomach acid. So you'll want to pick this next type of calcium. The second product you could pick is calcium citrate. This does not require stomach acid to be broken down, and you do not need to take it with meals. It's more gentle on the stomach than calcium carbonate. If you're struggling with stomach issues or an upset stomach, well then calcium citrate would be a better option. Okay, but on to my fourth strategy, and this one is protein. Now, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't talk about protein. Protein is necessary for cancer survivors. Protein, along with calcium and other minerals, is critical and the building blocks for good bone health. Protein is necessary to repair and heal your body after cancer. It gives your bones strength and flexibility, and it's also an important component for your muscles. Now, let me explain why this is so important. You may have been given treatment that intentionally put you into menopause or suppressed your estrogen. Well, here's a problem when estrogen is dramatically suppressed. Estrogen has a protective effect on your bones, and it's needed for maintaining lean muscle mass. We know that muscle mass is an issue for cancer survivors. Now, cancer survivors that eat to target protein levels, well, they have more bone mineral density and they have fewer fractures. Eating to target protein after cancer will also support your body in maintaining and creating new lean muscle mass. This is critical for mobility and preventing falls. Now, most people are able to reach target protein levels just through their diet. Ideally, you'll want to eat at least 30 grams of protein 3 times a day: breakfast, lunch, and supper. Include sources of lean protein like chicken or fish. And if you're struggling to hit target protein levels, then you may want to consider supplementing with a protein powder. Okay, so now that you know how to naturally strengthen your bones after cancer, you're going to need to know more about what to eat in order to strengthen your bones. That's exactly why I'm linking up this next video here to show you exactly how it's done. Click the link here and I'll see you in the next video.